Welcome to the SoCon preview show. Brenda Mock-Brown, the head coach at ETSU in your third year. Brenda, it's always great to see you. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm doing great today, Debbie.
Tell us a little bit about your team. This is your third year, and this is kind of the time of year where your vision matches sort of the personnel, and you try to, it takes some time to get all that together. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. I mean, obviously, we've had some challenges in that we have 9 new players, merging that with 4 returners, but 9 really good newcomers. 5 of those are freshmen. We worked really hard to recruit those under a vision that I cast. So that's the biggest class thus far under my leadership. Of course, I had great help with assistant coaches in actually securing those recruits. But then we also got 4 transfers coming in the spring. And so we're just tickled to death with all of them, how they're blending together, the type of individuals they are, high character, but then also just extremely high work ethic and are able to bring it consistently. I've emphasized that a lot, but, in terms of being able to work hard and do it every day, but they've actually done it from July until now. So if we can just keep doing that and making progress every day, I feel good about our chances this season to be a pretty good ball club.
Brenda, I would put a little checklist together for you based on knowing you for so many years on the kind of people you like to surround yourself with, what kind of players you like. I would bet that you're checking the box off pretty closely every day based on your vision and what you wanted to do. Give us sort of an idea of some of the players that we can keep our eye on.
Sure. Well, in terms of the vision, we talk a lot about here, our mantra is faithful for 40, but we define faithful, as steadfast, committed, loyal. And then for 40, a lot of people ask me, what is that? What is 40? And that's 40 minutes in a game, but that's also representative of the entirety of the season. And so that's what we're drawing people to, that vision. Players to keep an eye on. I'll tell you one player that I recruited when I was at UNC Asheville. Her name is Braylon Milton out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She chose Cincinnati. But we put a lot of time and effort into her. So I had a prior relationship. And so we have her coming in for her senior year. I am just so delighted to have her. Big guard, scorer's mentality, but she's actually a pretty good defender too. And just so much fun to be around. So glad to welcome Braylon into our program. 2 familiar faces will be Kendall Folley and Courtney Moore. They have been staples of our program for the past couple of years. Kendall, a couple years ago, was on the all-conference team and on the all-defensive team. Last year, battled some injuries, and we suffered for it. Obviously, good teams overcome that, but that's a big void to fill when your point guard goes down, and she struggled with that during the entirety of the conference season. Courtney Moore, a 5th-year veteran. She's been at ETSU, I say, since 1985 because she's been here 5 years, and the girls get tickled by corny jokes. But, Courtney's been somebody that she is so consistent. You know what you're going to get out of her every day. She loves ETSU. So not only does that translate to her performance on the court and her passion, but she's able to help us recruit kids here because she's seen it. She knows the community. She knows the draw of Johnson City. She knows really that this is the best town, in my opinion, in the Southern Conference to play women's basketball. And so, those 2 are going to be pivotal. And we've got others, Megan Downing, who people overlooked last year, scored 18 points in our conference tournament game against Mercer. She's one of our returners. She had a great summer. She's performing right now. And again, just a consistent worker. So I'm hoping there'll be some other people too that emerge. And I think that's happening in practice. So I'm really excited about the potential of this team.
Brenda, you grew up in Waynesville, North Carolina. You went to Wake Forest. You spent a good portion of your career at UNC Asheville. You've sort of been in the footprint of the SoCon for a long time. So you know as well as anybody how good the basketball has been in this league. Break it down for us a little bit on how good this is as a coaches league, the kind of preparation that's required, and what it's like to get ready to get your team to compete for a title in this league.
Sure. Well, Debbie, I'll tell you this. Coaching here in the Big South, obviously we had great coaches and great relationships there, but being here the past couple of years has made me a better coach. We've had some great matchups against some friends in Susie Gardner, who is now not at Mercer anymore. So she's down as an assistant at Florida, but, going up against her, Sean Poppy, who's now coaching at Clemson, Jimmy Garrity, who's done a phenomenal job at Wofford. I mean, hands down, because I was coaching against him at UNC Asheville, and to see what he's done with that program, and them being picked to win the league this year. I picked them to win the league this year. He's done a great job there. Trina Patterson, at UNCG, I just love her, high character, great friend. And that's the cool thing, Debbie. And I'm very relational. So of course, when we're competing against each other, we want to win. There's no bones about that, no question about that. But we've got great people, in our league, and the new coaches are no exception to that. Wonderful people. I think we'll work well together to advance our league. That's already been happening, in some of the Zooms that we've had. And then, I think last year, looking at the net score of the league, it was a great year for Southern Conference. I think it was one of our historic years in terms of our non-conference record collectively. I would expect the same this year. It's going to be another good year for us, and we're going to continue to get better.
I think one of the things about the SoCon that's exciting for me is that you might not have 6'5", 6'8", 6'6" in the post, but you have versatility, you have adaptability, you've got great guard play, which is always exciting. And you have to be able to change the rhythm of the game. You can't just play the same way all the time. With your added depth in your newcomers, what do you envision for 40 minutes with this club? What style of play will we see? Something similar to last year, or is it going to be a little bit different?
Yeah, we need to generate a few more possessions per game. So if you look at us versus the 361, I think that's how many Division I teams there are. We weren't high in our possessions per game. Why is that? Well, we're not completely slow on offense, but what we are doing is playing conservatives, somewhat like a pack line, similar to a pack line man-to-man defense, and we were grinding people out. So it takes people longer to score on us, and our transition defense is pretty good as well. So we want to keep that, Debbie. But then now we want to figure out, okay, how can we put pressure on the rim a little bit more? So on opponents' misses, because we're getting them to miss a lot, how can we capitalize? I think that's an area where we can grow and generate. Again, let's go with 3-4 more, let's go with 6 to 8 points. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it sounds like a little, but that's a lot.
Right.
Let's get 6 to 8 points in what we call our primary, in that 6 to 8 seconds, first 6 to 8 seconds of the shot clock. So let's do that a little bit better. We're not turning the ball over. Again, we're efficient, but we need to generate more offensive possessions while continuing to be tough on defense. I'm not going to change and be, a risk taker. You got to know yourself as a coach, and I know myself by now. I'm not a pressing coach. I think you got to have the personnel to press. A lot of people want to do that. It's not really realistic. You know that. You're watching all the Power Fours, and there's not many pressing teams at that level. And so there's really not a good reason for us to be pressing teams. Solid man-to-man defense, sprinkle in a little bit of zone, maybe a little bit of a containment pressing, situational pressing. Of course, we like to have that in our back pocket. But nothing's changing really defensively, but we do want to generate more possessions on offense.
You know what, Brenda? You're not the only coach that in the preview show has talked about scoring in the first 8 to 12 seconds of the shot clock. I think that's setting up this league for a lot of great guard play, some really experienced scorers, and a lot of fun decision-making at a fast pace, which is going to be great for the league, great for the brand of the league, great for coaches like you that know how to slow that down while also speeding it up at the same time. One more parting shot from you, Brenda, about what you expect for your team and just what you're excited about this year.
Well, Debbie, if we stay healthy, and I'm sure you've heard that too, as much as you've heard 8 to 12 seconds. If we stay healthy, this is a team, because of their ability, their sophistication in thinking, and they're long-term oriented, and they work hard every day. I do believe that we can be playing our best basketball in the conference season. So something about SoCon here, you play 15 non-conference games. That's a lot. A lot of people don't realize that we only have 8 women's basketball teams in our league. So that's only 14 conference games. So 15 non-conference games is a lot, but it does give us time to prepare. We're not jumping into a conference game in December. So the quality of the conference basketball in the SoCon should be higher. Mm-hmm. And so I do think this is a team that has the potential to continue to get better, and freshmen need time. They're 5 of our 13 players are freshmen. So yes, we've got some upperclassmen, but those gals got to play. But they're going to need some time, to get acclimated, to get used to. They've not played their first college game yet. By the way, we're opening at NC State.
I was just going to say that. We're going to NC.
So be a good one. NC State. Now, we scheduled that game about a year ago. Had no idea we were going to be a Final Four team. But anyway, so I do think that's what I would say. Be patient with ETSU, as opposed to last year where we were out of the gates fast and kind of fizzled. I would rather that this play out the way I'm planning it, that we're playing our best basketball in March and we're advancing in the tournament, and that we're playing again in the postseason like we were 2 years ago.
I know you're detailed. I know you're excited. I know you've got a wider vision. And I know you wake up every morning being grateful and ready to go. Brenda Mock-Brown, thank you so much for being with us on the preview show.
You're welcome, Debbie. Glad to be here and looking forward to a great season.
Welcome to the preview show from ETSU, coming to you live from Johnson City, Tennessee. Courtney Moore and Kendall Folley. Ladies, thank you for being with us on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
If you guys are an extension of Coach Mock, which everyone says their players are, you must be having a ball. How much fun has it practice been? Has it been entertaining all these new players? Tell us what's going on. Give us a little breakdown, Courtney.
Yeah, it's been fun. A lot of learning, a lot of new players, but it's been exciting. Everybody's just working hard. It's real competitive, so I'm excited for the season.
Kendall, you're one of the leaders. You two are one of the better players on the team. You've got the most experience. How have you been able to lead in practice every day?
I'm just trying to be vocal, trying to help. We have a lot of young players, so just trying to help them learn the system, be there for them to answer questions, and just encourage them to the best of my ability. Just really trying to be there to serve them right now.
One of the things that people like to say about freshmen is you don't know what you don't know yet, right? What are some of the things that you guys have been able to do? Courtney, we'll start with you, to help the freshmen along inside Brenda's system, which can be complicated at times.
Yeah, just encouraging them. It's obviously new to them, and we've gone through that for 2 years with Coach Mock. And so just kind of helping them, walking them through everything and answering any questions they have. Like I said, staying on top of them, encouraging them, and they're catching on really well. They're great learners and hard workers, so it's pretty easy.
Kendall, you have seen every defense in the league. There are a lot of top of the scouting report defensive efforts on you. Tell us a little bit about what you've added to your game that you will be able to counter and make the defense wrong.
I'm trying to be consistent just in every area, be able to shoot the three, have the pull up, be able to get to the basket, add some moves that way. Just trying to be able to read, trying to build my IQ too, so that I can make those reads and just get my teammates super involved this year. I think that if we have a team full of threats, then it's going to be really hard to guard us.
Kendall, when you're trying to add to your game and know you're trying to expand what you're doing, and you mentioned IQ, is that reps? Is that film work? Is that something else? Tell us what that means.
A lot of it is film for me. A lot of it's just watching from the sidelines. I spent a lot of time out this past year and a half with injuries, so I've gotten to be able to see a whole different perspective of the game of basketball. So I think that's helped me a lot. I've been reading a lot just about the mental side of basketball and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely been helping me a lot.
Are you going to give us a good book right here? You got something that you like?
Right now I'm reading The Inner Game of Tennis, which sounds crazy because it's tennis, but it talks about like the mental side of peak performance, and it's been helping me a lot just with putting aside all judgment and just playing the game.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. All right, Courtney, Johnson City, great fan base. Tennessee, the state, loves their hoops, especially women's hoops. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to play in a home game.
It's fun. That's like walking into Brooks and just seeing the fans and the band and just everybody that rallies together for us and cheer us on, win, lose, or draw. It's amazing. Off the court too, like you see these people out in the community and they're just excited to see you and they just love having you around here. And so it's a fun place to be.
It is a fun place to be. I've been there myself, so I know exactly how much fun and how important basketball is in that community. Everybody thinks Tennessee's all about football, but I think it's all about basketball.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Right? Yeah. Of course, we'd say that. We're basketball people.
Yeah.
Courtney, the league, balanced. You guys are picked in the middle. There's Wofford's picked to win it, but you've been around the league. You know what it requires. You know what it takes to win in this league. Why do you think you guys have the ingredients to do so?
Well, because, in this league, at any given night, any team can win. Just bring your best foot forward. And so I think with our team and just like I mentioned before, like the excitement and the learning and how much everybody's invested, I feel like this team will come together and through adversity, I think we'll be able to pick each other up and rally behind one another. And so, just going into this league, knowing, yes, Wofford expect to win and we might be picked in the middle. But like I said, at any given night, like just show up, play your game, do what you can do, and defend and rebound, what we're known for. Do that, and I think we'll be good.
Kendall, Coach Mock, I've known for a long time, and she's an incredible blend of high-level analytics, smart, thinks the game at a high level, sees the game 2-3 plays ahead. But then there's also the incredible feel that she has on the sideline, like great relationships, knows her players, has an understanding. How have you been able to learn from her and that incredible blend that she brings?
Well, Coach Mock is all about relationships. I think that we both are very similar in that. So I've just learned how to be a way better leader, just being underneath her and just being able to see her passion, how much she cares about the game, but cares about us as individuals. Makes it all just more special. It makes you want to work even harder. You don't want to disappoint her. You want to just perform to the best of your abilities for her. So, I think it just has challenged me, and I think I can speak for our entire team just to play at our best and work as hard as we can every single day to just get better.
Kendall Folley and Courtney Moore. Part of the reason why we do the preview show is to introduce everyone to who's on the floor and get people interested. You two did a great job letting everyone know why ETSU is going to be a team to keep an eye on this year. Thanks for being with us on the preview show.
Thank
you.